Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works. I just shot the best video ever, but I double-clicked on the start button, and it was only 1 second long. So here we are, take two. One of my viewers, who I shall call Jim, because in fact his name is Jim, asked me, hey, where you been? And I've been out cleaning my hangar, and I'm trying to get my car out of the hangar, and turns out it's got a flat tire, and then I go to jack it up, and I don't have the handle for the jack, so I got to go get a new handle for the jack, and yada. So I've been fooling around with other things. The systems is getting close. I just have a little bit more to do on the strakes here, and I chipped a corner here. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today is, as I'm doing this and I'm working in here, and I'm wondering, how many of you guys have a set of Riffler files? These are Riffler files. They're basically bent files, and they come in all sorts of cross-sectional shapes. This one's triangle, this one's round, there's flat ones, there's curved ones, and a set like this isn't very expensive. It's, $10 or something like that. And they're just the ticket for getting into little tight spaces like you have in here to, kind of detail out. They're just the ticket. And for example, if your motor mount, if you're changing motors and your motor mount holes don't line up, you can get the round one, and you can get in here and you can elongate your motor holes, even though the motor mounts tilted or hard to access. Riffler files, they're nice to have. This, you can see, is just about done. As I was picking out in here in these steps, there's still down at the very bottom some soft paint. Now, when you're sanding, dust will collect there, or if you're wet sanding, you'll get mud down in there. And so as I'm cleaning that out, I can tell that the underlying paint isn't hard as a rock. So I'll shoot one more coat of primer on here where everything's ready to go, and then it's going to sit and bake. Originally, this thing was set up with a Speed 700 motor, and for some reason, I trimmed back this motor mount. I think it had more meat up here, but I trimmed back, I think, so I could get access. And I used a carbon fiber support back in here to hold the back of the Speed 700 motor, and then I put a zip tie through that band to hold it. Now that we have these cool clamps that fit, I'm just going to make 2 carbon fiber plates that go down to the appropriate place. And instead of holes for these bolts, I'll mill slots so that you can slide the motor in and with this on and through those slots and into the mounting position. The slots don't have to be very long, just longer than the screw head. And so that's my plan for that. It's getting pretty well ready to go. One of the things I was working on yesterday was the heads. And every single boat I've seen has these guys looking straight ahead. They're just dead ahead. That looks so posed. I kind of like to, have them tilting their heads a little bit and looking off. It just kind of looks more realistic. If you look at both my short circuits, the 120 and the 112th, Chuck is in there and he's leaning into a turn and he's looking that way. I just think it looks more or it looks less posed. So that's the way these guys are going to be. One of them is going to be looking off, and they're both going to be looking the general direction. So there you go. That's that. That's that. That's that. Okay, one last thing. One last thing. I never, ever talk about politics. And this really isn't politics. I'm talking about freedom. And freedom is transpolitical. Big B posted a video the other day, and he lost contact with his boats, and he went over and he rented a kayak, and he went out and he got his boats and came back, and all was good. And I posted a kind of funny remark in there, and it got me to thinking, there's more truth in that remark than you imagine. I live in California, and I've never, ever seen a kayak rental dispenser. Now, you can rent kayaks, but there's human beings that make you sign papers and swear upon pain of death that you're going to do this and do that, and they double check you and they instruct you and so forth, and then they have you buy insurance policies, and then you can maybe rent their kayaks, and then they'll supervise you. Where Big B was, there was I called it a big Pez dispenser. That's basically what it is. You wave your information and money at it, and it gives you a kayak. Never mind that, they have no idea who you are. You're going to go out into an alligator habitat. They figure you're smart enough to be able to handle it yourself. That's freedom. If you want to go out in the middle of 50, 20-foot gators and pet them, well, you deserve what's going to happen to you. But if you're smart, you'll know what to do. That's freedom. Good God. Here in California, people don't realize it, but freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Until next time, boys and girls, jet out.